Good day and welcome to Knowledge is Power. So, I'm going to show to you why our military are the best that they are and why conditions aren't always the best. So, of course, you guys got all uproar and all outrage when you saw our armed services laying sleep inside the nation's capital. But you want to know why that is? It's because the media told you to feel that way. And then it gave those congressmen a reality check to see how our men and women actually are. So I was overseas doing Iraq from '03 to '05, and let me tell you how it was. So of course, we slept the exact same way that my comrades and my brothers and sisters did in the Capitol. But we didn't have better bathrooms. Look at these, we had to piss in those tubes. That was our reality, okay? So as you see, there's another set. And then let me tell you where we used the facility I had to take dumps at. Yeah, those in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the heat. But then people whine and complain about what they saw at the Capitol with our men and women. But yet, they saw this and did nothing. But then what happened is we have to burn that feces, burn that piss. And if you notice, no one has on a respirator or a mask. But then the VA decides to deny your claims when you have COPD, when you have breathing problems. These are the things that our Congress people, our elected officials need to be fighting. But do they know? Do you know how our military are treated overseas? No. Do you really care? Who knows? Want to know why? Because you don't see it on the forefront. You only see what the media wants you to see. You only see what the media lets you see. But then again, hey, this is how we slept also. Out in the elements, with the bugs, with the snakes, with the scorpions, with the camel spiders. But don't worry, there's more to come. So let me tell you next, as we enter Iraq from Kuwait, there was, what you see here are basically landmines that they put on the road so we could not cross. And you may think, well, you know what? We had the MRAPs, we had those big armored vehicles. Actually, we did not from '03 to '06. We had regular standard Humvees. And this is the mayhem and the destruction that these roadside bombs and these mines done to these regular vehicles that were not up armored. So this is from '03 to '05 when I served, and then I went back again from 2009 to 2010. I did 3 total tours. And let me tell you something. This is why our men and women that serve feel a certain kind of way when they see the disrespect to our flag, when they see the disrespect to our own people, when they see the disrespect and the negativity against our armed forces. So take a close look at these vehicles and the damages. And then you actually see some true things, some true deaths that happened over there. Because the media is not going to tell you this. So I'm here to show it to you. So you can see and understand why certain people feel certain ways. When family members of these veterans feel certain ways. When family members of these men and women over there feel certain ways. Because it's all gone on deaf ears. People get all upset about little minor things. These men and women that was in the Capitol, guess what? They're not in harm's way. They're not living under certain standards. Facilities were bombed overseas. People were killed overseas. The Capitol wasn't bombed. And the people that died was doing the first, what do they say, the insurrection of it. But our men and women that was in armed forces had nothing to do with that. But don't worry, there's more to come. I will make sure I put a parental guidance up for the next pictures. Graphic warning, trigger warning, parental advisory, explicit pictures of death. I can't say it again enough. Trigger warning, parental advisory, explicit content. So you will start seeing some of the things that our men and women that went overseas in combat of all wars of dealing with. Okay, these are things that contribute to the combat PTSD, that contributes to the survivor's guilt, that contributes to the anxiety, the hypervigilance, that contributes to the intrusive thoughts, the nightmares, the suicidal thoughts. All of these things that you're going to be seeing next is what is a big thing with most combat veterans. Then the media tells you there was no weapons of mass destruction. Well, I'm here to let you know that they actually were. We found 36 missiles buried when we tried to put up a tent in the middle of the desert. It took us 2 days to get EOD out there, along with equipment, to dig up everything. And then as we dug it up, we had to assist of watching it overnight until they got the approval to dispose of it. But as they was doing that, guess what? These missiles, these weapons of mass destruction, were leaking a foreign liquid, and most of us breathed in. None of us had any protective gear against this because our mask was being saved just in case there's a real chemical attack. And then once you get back and you get into the VA system, they deny your claims. And you can see as it eating up the concrete. So once we got approval, what did we do? We added the explosives, the C4, the fuel, and then we went ahead and got EOD to explode and dispose of everything. And this is just to show you some of the things that went on that you have no idea that's going on. But the media keep telling you, oh, look what's happening inside the Capitol. They're sleeping in not inhumane conditions. But this is why, these things are why we feel like zeros, but on the outside we may be a hero. This is why we have the confusion, the combat PTSD, the intrusive thoughts. This is why it takes an understanding. And then who else is affected? Our spouses, our children. Because there is secondary PTSD. Because they're living with the combat veteran, with the combat PTSD, the TBI, the anxiety, the hypervigilance, the survivor's guilt, the suicidal thoughts, the intrusive thoughts, the drinking, the drugging, all of that. Trying to cope, trying to get help if there's help available. This is what this video is to let you know, to understand that these wounds, even though they're invisible to you, they are real. So please support our veteran organizations. Please support our veterans when you see them. If you see them in a hat, thank you for your service. You see them in uniform, thank you for your service. That means a lot. It means so much. And thank you for tuning in, and stay tuned for the next one, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, veterans. Thank you for quiet mornings and family breakfasts, morning walks and safe streets, for builders, both of cities and of homes. Thank you for realists, ordinary optimists, coffee shop companies, and boardroom companies, for freedoms, choices, beliefs. Thank you for your oath. Thank you for 2 a.m. night watches and 5 a.m. rock watches, for scrubbing, mopping, and plunging, for papers, plans, and routes, for 6-hour convoys and 6-month deployments. Thank you for following orders, leading your team, and carrying your brothers back home. Thank you, veterans, for sticking to your oath, so that we all can wake up to another quiet morning